Alrighty. Well, I am here doing another video for my team review for PDC because the first video did kind of suck. So yeah, I'm gonna do this here right now. First of all, for those of you who don't know, I play this game called Dice Masters. This is mostly actually going to be a video for the community, but it will be on my personal Facebook page. So, and those of you, my friends who don't know exactly what's going on, just a little overview of the game is it's a Dice Masters. It's a game based off of a game called Warriors. It's developed by a company called Loose Kids. It is a dice building game where you have a team of 8 characters, as you can see here in this picture, and you battle your opponent. You each have 20 life. You try and build your team as you go. You build your team as you go along by purchasing characters and using actions, and you win the game you have 20 life, and whoever gets to 0 first loses. So yeah, it's kind of like Pokemon, it's kind of like Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! So yeah, this is also a video for the community, Dice Masters community as well, just for those who were interested in wondering how I did. I did place second. That's another reason why I'm doing this, is because I did place second, and I just wanted to go over my team and kind of show you what I did and kind of my line of thinking behind everything else. So yeah, first of all, when I first started playing Dice Masters, I was pretty big into Rush, aggro Rush, because it's quick, it's fast, and it's you don't have much time to you have to react quickly to it. If you don't, then also I was playing a lot of ring teams for a long time as well. Last PDC I was in the top 4, and I got there with a Guy Gardner ring team. So it was a fist ring team. It was pretty fun. I enjoyed it. And then, yeah, I got to top 4 with that. Did pretty awesome. And then this, like I said, this time around I took second place with this team. This is more of a control deck, control team, with Jinzo being the main piece of control, along with Constantine. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with this team. Like I said, I mostly played a lot of Rush, a lot of aggro teams, comboing off. This team was a lot more control, a lot more different than what I'm used to playing. So I had a lot of fun with it. And I also used some tech that I learned from Nathan Magro. A little shout out to him, coming up with the back for seconds tech. Fun story. He came up with that at a tournament that we did in Game Haven, where we just had random basic actions every time. It was kind of fun. So yeah, it was really cool. So anyways, I won't take too much time, but this is my team here. Got a little background music. Hope it's not too loud or too much for anybody. Let's start with the basic actions first of all. So basic actions that I used were back for seconds. It's a basic action from Amazing Spider-Man. It's 4 cost, and it says Underdog. You may use this effect when your opponent has more characters than the character dice in the field zone than you do. Field any character from your use pile at level 3. Basically, anytime I buy something that have more characters, I get a field when I use this action. Then I use Distraction. Opponent here, we're not really using it for the action itself. We're using it mostly for the pay a mass, remove one attacker from the attack zone. Shuffle. Let's see here. Yeah, so this is basically just to remove their attackers, anybody who's coming in at me. Then we have this guy, Constantine Hellblazer. I got this guy, and I was really excited, and this is really what made me want to play Control, because I had the Jinzo, but this one was the kicker. Constantine Hellblazer, super rare from Justice League, cost 2 shield. While Constantine is active, before your opponent's clear and draw step, you may name a character. If that character is fielded this turn, ignore its attacks until the end of the turn. It cannot attack this turn. So, you basically use that for things that are going to just wreck you when fielded, like Storm, or like Gobby, or anything that's basically when fielded, or even just that wants to attack, like Guy Gardner and stuff like that. Next card is White Tiger, Mystical Amulet. This is a starter card from Amazing Spider-Man. Three fist. When fielded, you may sacrifice another character. Give this die +1 attack and +1 defense and overcrush until the end of turn. But we're using this one for the pay 1 fist. During your turn, each player must field a sidekick die from the use pile, if able. And I'll go over basically why. And I'll go over actually over why each of these are. And actually some things that I could have changed as well. Storm Wind Rider. This is the crux of my team. This is the girl that I've been playing with ever since I played. I'm gonna put her aside for a little bit, but I love her. She says she's 5 mask, but she says when fielded, reroll up to 2 opposing characters. Each die that doesn't roll a character face goes to your opponent's use pile. Storm deals 2 damage to your opponent for each die moved. So basically, she gets to roll up to 2 characters out and can deal 4 damage. With really minimal costs. 0, 1, 1. Jinzo. Jinzo Trap Destroyer. While this monster is active, your opponent must pay 2 life to use any action die or global ability. So yeah, that's kind of to lock everything down from using globals here. Clay Golem is the another one here we're using. 5 fists. Clay Golem Lesser Construct. Fabricate 2 to 4. You may KO 2 character dice with the total purchase cost of 4 or more to purchase this die for free. While Clay Golem is active, you may redirect up to 2 damage from you to use character die each turn. So it absorbs damage basically. Mara Mournful Rage. We're using her mostly for her global. Pay a mask. If a character die would deal you 5 or more combat damage, it deals you 2 combat damage. Professor Xavier for the ramp. Again, for the global, pay a mask, move up to 2 sidekick die from your use pile to your prep area. And then also the Blue Eyes for the global as well. Pay a lightning bolt, knock out one of your monsters to reduce the cost of the next energy die by 2 energy. So, what does this team do? Well, most of you guys who are looking at this, if you haven't figured it out yet, we are basically using back for seconds to get in as a substitution for like polymorph or any other, or like even transfer power, any form of basic action that gets things directly from the use pile into the field. Now with that, it also triggers when fielded effects, since it does say field them at level 3. So what we're looking to do is first turn to buy Constantine PXG. Second turn, buy back for seconds with Blue Eyes Global and knocking out something. And if we don't have anything, if we don't have a sidekick, then we can just White Tiger Global to give ourselves a sidekick, because we will have at least one sidekick in our use pile to give so that we can knock it out and make back for seconds cheaper. The rest of the energy we're just going to PXG away. Third turn, we roll back for seconds, we roll Constantine. We have taken most likely 1 damage because we're 1 dice short, but we have that 1 floating energy. And so what do? We buy Jinzo. We buy Jinzo so that way we can lock them out of using globals, or just to tax them for using globals. That's what Jinzo's for. Once that's set up, we've got Constantine on the field, we've got Jinzo on the field. Now we've looked to control the board. At this point, we buy storms. We buy as many storms as possible. She is the whole reason. The whole thing with her is that we're going to trigger her basically every single turn. How? How are we going to do that? Oh, we're going to knock her out. How are we going to knock her out? Well, you have to have a bolt to do that, or you have to do this. You have to shoot. I don't know. Fuck that. We're going to use Fabricate. We're going to use Clay Golem, this guy. All these golems from the freaking D&D set were, all stars for me. Excuse me. So basically what's going to happen here is on the next turn we're going to PXG, get some mana energy back, buy us a storm. If we are lucky and happen to have back for seconds in our hand at the next time we buy her, we can field her automatically. Use back for seconds, field her, hit her, start clearing their board. At that point, we just KO Storm and a sidekick, and we buy Clay Golems. and we buy clay, and we just keep doing that. We buy more storms, and we fabricate clay golem. With just her and the psychic. She is already 5 costs, so that fulfills the purchase cost of clay golem, and we just need a psychic. We just need a character die. That's it. So we just and that's how we just cycle her. We just keep on cycling her. If we happen to roll her energy one time, you just you buy her. You use her to buy more storms, or you use her to PXG. It doesn't really matter. Or you use her for Mara. And you just keep on fabricating golems, and basically, eventually, you're just gonna roll out their team, their whole field. Hopefully, have done at least 8 damage, and then you just swing in the rest with Jinzo Constantine your storms. That's plenty enough damage. And it's, yeah, so, and also, the purpose of the clay golems is once we start fielding those, we can start redirecting damage. So, let's say you have that weapon 10 that's coming in, it's swinging in for 12, oh my god, what am I gonna do? Well, I'm just gonna take the, do I have clay golem out? Awesome. Do I have Mara? Awesome. I'll just take the damage, reduce it to 2, and then redirect that damage to clay golem. Super simple, super easy. Really not all that, pretty fun tech that I came up with, and I enjoyed playing it a lot. Obviously, we stole back for seconds from Nathan, but I really love this whole fabrication storm thing. It's a really fun way, fun for you, not so fun for your opponent. It's a really fun way to utilize storm. It is, you're rolling characters, so I mean, it's always that 50-50 chance. That's kind of my playstyle is, we're playing dice. We may as well be fun with it. May as well just say, hey, I'm gonna win everything off, whip everything off of this one roll. It works awesome. It doesn't be bad. The benefit is that you usually will have, multiple storms. I many times that I was playing this that I found myself with at least 2 storms to throw at least once a turn, or at least a storm every turn after turn 4 or 5. And then yeah, so it was really cool. It was a lot of fun. I ended up calling this team the Fabricating a Storm, because you're fabricating golems and you just get storm and you just roll people out. And it's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it anyway. The downfalls to this team were I had no ways really to deal with action dice. So no action hate of any continuous action hate of any sort. Things like Millennium Puzzle, things like the Ring of Magnetism, things like the Lantern Ring from War of Light. Didn't necessarily have any good answers for those. My objective was most likely just to roll your stuff out with Storm and then swing in with everything else. Because my guys' stats are pretty good. All my beefy, my clay golems have beefy stats. Storm is 3 on her level 3 side. Jinzo's level 7 on his 3 side, and clay golem's level 5 on his, or is a 5/7 on his 3 side. So, pretty good stats and everything that I can at least swing in for everything else. But that was the issue, is I did have some problems with the rings. However, it wasn't too much of an issue because I didn't play too many of them. The only ring team, I didn't even play necessarily a real ring team. It was Zach Green's team. He had a ring on his team, and he didn't end up getting damage in through with it, but I was able to redirect it and then absorb it as well with Mara. And then the other thing that this team was not prepared for is the mirror match of Jinzo Constantine control. Because I am running Storm as my only one fielded option, that's the easy target for Constantine. The guy I ended up playing for the finals, and I ended up playing him 3rd round, also in Swiss, Mike Plum. He won the WK up in Washington, and he played a very similar, he played Jinzo control with Constantine, Elf Wizard, excuse me, not Elf Wizard, Elf Thief, but he also ran Hulk, and he also ran, the other one, Nova, as his way to get damage through. He would swing with Nova. whether they get blocked or not, ping him off, and then at least 2 damage gets through, plus his own damage if he goes unblocked. And if he does get blocked, he does damage as well. But the thing is that I never had, or he always just would Constantine my Storm the entire time, and I was like, well, I gotta figure out a way to get that Constantine. In hindsight, you know, after looking at the team, and after I played, the 2 things I could have possibly changed were Mara and Distraction. Mara, mostly because I didn't end up using her as much as I thought I would. However, that being said, we did play. There were a whole lot of control teams that involved Jinzo as well, so our meta also was kind of that way. So, I mean, it could have been a good idea because I didn't. It could have been an alright idea had I not had her. Because I could just Constantine whatever is going to be attacking for next turn. Or whatever. The other substitution I was thinking about making was Distraction for the for Slander. In both of these slots, I would have substituted out either Prismatic Spray or Slander. And if it would have been legal, I probably would have subbed in Kryptonite instead. Because Kryptonite's only a 2 cost. All these cards allow you to blank your opponent's cards. Prismatic Spray allows you to blank opponent's cards. While Slander allows you to blank an opponent's character, and same with Kryptonite. The advantages there was that I could then wipe his Jinzo and allow myself to PXG a little bit better. By which getting more storms and fabricating more, that way I could build my forces up and then actually use Distraction so that his people couldn't block. So, you know, unfortunately, I just got outraced, you know, and since I didn't have any ways to deal with Constantine, that's how I ended up losing, in my opinion. Is because I didn't have a way to deal with it as far as Constantine Jinzo goes. But still, I feel like I did really, really well. I'm proud of how I played. I'm proud of what I learned leading up to this, and I'm proud of my play. I was pretty good about my Constantines. I could have been a little bit better, but you know, that's always the case with everything. You know, and I'm pretty proud of everything that I did. It was a good time. Big shout out to Nathan, Magro, and Game Haven for putting on PDC. And also shout out to Mike Plum. You were awesome to play against all rounds that we played. Same to you, Zach. Really, really great time playing against you guys. And we had a great turnout. It was great fun. That is basically my team, and how I could have played with it, or how I could have played a little bit better, but still did really, really good. If you guys have any other questions about Dice Masters, or ever just want to talk Dice Masters, hit me up. I'm always down to talk about it. Hit me up on Facebook. Hit me up on Twitter as well, at Brown Messiah is my name on there. And you can also find me in Utah Dice Masters group. We always post there. We're always talking about it there. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hope you enjoyed my team. If you have any questions about it or comments about it, let me know. We'll be talking to you guys later. See ya.